Hey, happy quarantine day, workmates. I was going to make a video of how to use the class notebook a little bit, creating sections in your class notebook, inserting pages into your class notebook, and then disseminating those pages to the class. If this helps, if you're trying to use the notebook, great. If you're not using the notebook, then not so great, but I'm going to try to keep this rolling and keep this moving and keep it short. So you get into your class notebook. If you're going in through Office 365, you sign into your Office 365 account. Now, there's other ways to get into your class notebook, but I'm going to be covering one again, creating these sections, inserting pages, and disseminating pages. So this is the reason I'm going in this way. So you get into your Office 365 and you're looking at your home page basically in Office 365. You click over here, class notebook. I will show you some different things about the class notebook, either in this video if I have time, or I'll make another little short video. But you go into manage notebooks. If you've created any other notebooks other than the one that Lee has created for you, you'll have a list here. Now, I had already created my class notebook before this, but anyway, you'll find your list here. Click on the class notebook that you want. Here you will find the student section. So these are the tabs or the sections that the students are going to see, and I'm going to call them sections because that's what this is labeled up here. All right, so you create a section. All you have to do is click that add button. I'm not personally going to click that right now because you can see I have all these student sections in my notebook already. You have a collaboration space in your notebook. The students can get to that collaboration space. So if you wanted to make teams, you would make that in your collaboration space, and I can show you that. But once you make those teams and you want to give students permission in that collaboration space, and you'll see here in a second what I've done with my book groups. And I had a thought about this too, that we could create some book groups using one of the internet sites that Lee provided us. But here I created my book clubs. I also created something in my collaboration section, say hi to everyone, share your writing. All right. And here you can edit. You can, if you had those groups together, you could give who you're going to give permission to in those groups. Right now, since we're not using those book groups, no one has permission to do anything in that. So adding sections here, you can control your collaboration space here. Over here, it says open notebook. So you go to open notebook. It is going to take you to the class notebook, for lack of a better term right now, your home section. You do not really want to work in this section. I'm not sure why. Sean Bowden couldn't tell me why. But if you work here, it does not save any of your work. So if you've gotten frustrated, you're sitting here and you're doing all this stuff, and then it doesn't save it, it's a glitch in the system. I'm not sure why. I talked to Sean Bowden about that. He wasn't sure why. So open in the app. Always click open in the app. You're still in the same class notebook. A little different here. You're going to see a different view if you notice in this class notebook. None of these tabs are colored or anything else. In the other view that we were just in, with the app view, the tabs are all colored and everything else. Now, every page, every section has a home page, if you will. So one, you can look up here. I'm in Long's class notebook 2019-2020. Those little arrows right there means that it's trying to sync. I have students on there working right now, and I can see that they're on there working. These guys that are bolded right here are the ones that are in the class notebook actually doing work right now. So you can see the different sections that they're in and everything else. If it's bolded, that means they're in there or they have that space open. And this means that it's all trying to sync, and eventually it will sync whenever they do that. If you wanted just to manually sync that, you can right click on it, go back up here, right click on that, and you can hit sync and sync this notebook, and you click that, and these wheels will appear here and mine appear over here. So right now it's trying to sync. It probably won't because those students are working on there. In the collaboration space, you have to create your sections yourself in your collaboration space if you wanted them there. And to do that, you would click add a section, and whatever you type on this line is what that is going to be titled. So, oh, you know what? That was that. So to rename this section, I click on that, new test section, and then that section's added. The page automatically comes up. Sorry. You have a welcome page that automatically comes up. Whatever you type on this line is what is going to, that page is going to be titled test page 1. If you wanted to add another page to that section, again, test page 2. So this is how you're adding pages. Now this section works really well for adding pages. It works really well for adding pages. Now, oh my gosh. And if I just want to delete all these pages, I just right click on them and delete them. So working in this section, really good if you want to add things into your collaboration section. This version of OneNote that you're looking at, just call it Class Notebook 2020, is not a real good version for creating pages and insert and disseminating those pages to your students. It's good if you're working in your collaboration space and you want to create those groups and things like that. So to disseminate pages and to insert pages into your class notebook, I'm going to take you to another section. The section or the version that I'm going to take us to is Notebook 2016. It is a better way to insert pages and disseminate those pages to your classroom. So I'm closing out of all of this. What this was good for was to create those tabs and to manage your notebook, or to create those sections and manage your notebook. I'm going to take us now to Class Notebook 2016. Now, for me, I have this pinned up here into my startup window. You guys probably will not have that. You can do that. That's a whole nother tutorial. But come down here on this side and you see OneNote 2016. It's going to look totally different. Right here this morning, one of my students inserted their 4 things that I learned in Light, and they're doing that. So let me just take you up here to this. So over here on this, in this view, you still have your class notebook here. You can make this, again, you can still sync now, and see one of the students has put some work in there and they're syncing that. Now over here, you have whatever you have clicked on over here is also going to be up here. This happens to be Sophia. Sophia is one of my students. This is her page that we're looking at. If I click on this collaboration space, all those tabs for that collaboration space come up here to the top. All right. Now you can expand over here. If you hit that expand button, that expands that. You see that section. I am using my content library. The students cannot see your content library. So when the students bring up Office Class Notebook, just real quick, what they're going to see is this collaboration space and their tab. That's all they're going to see. The content library is strictly your working space. So what I've done with my content library is I'm using it for my lesson plans, and this is where I put pages that I want to disseminate to my class. Over here in this version, 2016, your pages appear here. So you're in 2016, you've created a page, or you want to create a page. There's a couple of different ways to do that. Here, I am kind of creating pages, well, the lesson plan and some pages that don't fit in a section. And I'm going to add that page. But I'm going to take you to a couple of different sections too. So my ELA section, here's my opinion writing checklist and my opinion writing. Now I am actually going to do this. Oh, no, I'm not. I was going to add a page here for writing. I will show you that here in a second. Here's my math. So the math videos that I downloaded from YouTube, I put in here for decimal lessons. There's the decimal worksheet pages. They're both in here. And I'm talking about, I am going to show you guys how to insert those sections and things like that. So we're going to get cracking on that. But then there's the skills review sheet just put in there. So the different sections have different things. I just created this, the 5 things I learned about sound, and disseminated that to my students. So let's go back up here to the initial page on the content library. So I want to add a page to my content library. I'm going to disseminate that to all of my students. So I'm going to click add a page. Now, whatever I type here, this is what's going to show up and be titling over here. So test page 1. So that is there. Now to insert something into this document, there's a couple of different ways to do that. And I'll show you. So let me just show you. One thing that you can do, if I would just wanted a section, I can just copy and paste directly onto that section. It kind of gives a oh my gosh, it gives a box, a typing box, if you will. All right. Now the same thing happens. I could just type directly onto this page too, and it just gives that text box. The thing with doing that is you are very limited in, see, I click home, you're very limited in how you can manipulate your words and stuff like that if you're typing directly in here. We actually have more stuff to do than what the students have. So typing directly in here is good for small instructions, but you can cut and paste. You want to get rid of that, just highlight it, hit the delete button, and it goes away. Another way to get pages into here, and all of them have their little quirks and things that are good. So if I want to insert a file and I just want the kids to see that I just want the kids to see this whole page, I can insert this page and I can just insert it as a printout, and it's going to show up just like a work page as a printout. Bam. And you see it kind of went through a couple of things. Probably some students are working on this, but there it is. Now, so that's one way to insert that. Now that is a picture, and you can see I can't do anything with that. Now, if I want them to answer onto this, they can just type directly over that, and it creates a text box for them, but they can't do anything to this page. All right. Now,